Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Start off the morning with a prayer, and then we do the student pledge, which kind of states, how we're going to act nice to our friends and why.
We pray before we eat snack, and we pray before we go to lunch, and we pray the act of contrition and the prayer of the guardian angel before we go home.
At any moment that we need to, we would also settle ourselves down a little bit and pray, whether it be pray for someone in the classroom, or pray for anyone in the community, or even just pray for a nice day. We do take prayer very seriously.
I always pray before test because I think Jesus God could help me out more, give me more confidence in myself.
Then I would and I needed help on a certain part, I could pray and God might help me remember some stuff from textbook.
God is listening to all your prayers. You should speak to Him. You should give time to pray every single day.
We go upstairs for Stations of the Cross and award ceremonies, and we pray there too. And we have religion class a lot, every day.
I try to integrate religion as much as possible, even just talking about making good decisions throughout the day.
Sometimes, going into a game, like basketball or softball, I like to pray before that too.
Prayer for me is very important because if you pray before the game, then you'll have a better chance of winning. My class made the first reconciliation, and they're waiting to make the first communion now.
The parishioners get a little involved with the students that are their first communicants, and they get excited for them, and so it really brings them out into the community even more so, with them attending church more often and learning a lot more about the Mass, which is very important in their sacramental preparation. It brings about an understanding of what actually they're doing throughout the Mass and the rituals that we participate in.
Because I'm at St. Peter's, that's how I started the altar serving.
Being an altar server helps a lot with your faith because you go to church a lot more, and also it also helps service too.
I was in 4th grade when I started, so I knew they were looking for altar servers, so I asked my mom, since she works at in school, I was like, well, I'm going to talk to Deacon Alco about it, so that's how I got involved.
They asked for volunteers, and I volunteered, and I've been altar serving since 5th grade.
Being an altar server helps me with growing in faith and everything.
And it also helps you being a student too, because you learn about things in religion.
Tradition here in St. Peter's, we have we do many service projects, like the walk to the park.
You get to walk all around Newcastle by going from St. Peter's to Battery Park, and then you go back. You go along the coastline. You get to talk to your other friends, and you get to just have fun.
It's a break from school, and it helps us, our school, too.
Before we did this thing, we collected canned fruit for the St. Vincent de Paul Society, and we gave it so they would give it to the poor people who needed it.
And we collect food to give to the fire department, and then they'll give it to the homeless people that weekend when they have the opening thing for the food drive.
2nd grade got involved in a service project with visiting the seniors down at the Newcastle Senior Center. I thought it would be a great project for intergenerational activity where they could get to know the seniors a little bit better and do a project with them. First, what they did was they played bingo with the seniors for a little while, which they thoroughly enjoyed, and then the center provided materials for them to make a bird feeder together. So each student was paired up with another senior, and they worked on a bird feeder together. I hope that we would be able to visit the seniors again in the springtime and do another project with them.
Our big service project this year took place during Catholic Schools Week, when the 8th graders went to Sojourner's Place, a local rehabilitation outreach. They had quite a morning. We met together first with a head counselor who explained the process there, And then the girls,
They organized like toiletries and stuff, like personal items, and we hung clothes and stuff that people donated in the clothes closet.
It was a homeless shelter, and we sorted food, like different foods and like cans and clothes, so that they would have stuff to wear.
And stocked their like closets with like shampoo and soap.
the clients would have a feeling of shopping as opposed to just coming in and being handed things. So it was a real major pitch to give them a variety and to let them see that. And I think the girls came away feeling that that was important, that it increased their self-worth to allow to pick things, you know, go down a rack and pick and choose over things as opposed to being handed things. And I think that's a value to them.
And then the boys in the class went outside and worked outside, like pick up trash and stuff.
The guys helped pick up leaves and sticks and clean up their yard.
The guys did a good job of raking and sweeping and some things like that. They were taken a little back because we had been told that it was a substance abuse center, that this was an outreach program.
They get treatment and help with their drug problems and stuff.
One of the things they found was cigarette butts. That's not a big deal, but they were a little bit more unnerved when they found a couple of needles. And my pitch was, whatever they were finding, the guys are here in order to improve themselves, and we're here to give them an idea of, you know, other people will pitch in and just try and deliver a little bit of that promise that, you know, if you work, there's something worthwhile at the end of it.
We actually made a bunch of Christmas cards and we sent them to soldiers overseas. And it wasn't exactly, you know, a big service, but the soldiers really appreciated it.
Don't know the soldiers, but I think it was a good idea to send them over there.
So we thought it would just be a neat idea of, you know, sending Christmas cards and greetings to soldiers so they could feel the Christmas spirit as well.
Because it might make them feel a lot better.
After spring break, I would like to do a small service project around Old Newcastle. Since we're right here, I'd like to take the class around the streets and picking up trash and things like that. And I think it would just be a neat way to give back to their own community through their service.
This is our service project.